Hi, I'm Serial Critic, and welcome to Serial Critic Cinema Dissection. Today, we're gonna take a look at a cult classic, and when I say take a look, I mean we're gonna split it open and see what makes it tick. This is The Evil Dead. I hope you have your boomsticks loaded. The Evil Dead was released in 1981, and it was an instant classic. It fell into that category of films that went through hell to get made but came out to be renowned. Sam Raimi would go on to entertain audiences for decades to come, and The Evil Dead would spawn a franchise of continuity-challenged yet very entertaining and popular films.
Well, it might not be that bad.
No.
Actually, it might be kind of nice.
Yeah.
In the spirit of the success of the series, Ash vs. Evil Dead, I've decided to review the movie that started it all.
Sounds like a lot of yapping and not a lot of happening.
Let's get our knives wet. We meet our cast of probably doomed vacationers as they're riding through the woods to their destiny. Hey, what are you doing?
Don't you fucking look at me!
I'm not a big fan of eye contact. Just ask my cameraman. Hey, you. Yeah, you with the camera. Stop looking at me. I said stop looking at me. If you don't stop looking at me, I'm gonna bash your fucking skull in with a hammer. As I was saying, Scotty here rented a cabin, and they're all on their way to...
Party down! Yeah!
But as they travel along to their destination, something sinister is lurking in the woods. Point of view shots.
This is the bridge we're gonna cross.
No, stupid. It's the field we're gonna frolic through. And I'd be more worried about the guy on the other end of the bridge staring at you. I've heard people complain that horror movies move along a little too slowly, but I disagree. I like to get to know the characters I'm watching before I see them go through some crazy shit or get slaughtered. And this movie is a great example. Hey! I thought I told you to stop looking at me. Oh, you've done it now, buddy. That's the last time I hire a cameraman off of Craigslist. Hold the camera, Mr. Tree. They arrive to the cabin and are welcomed by an immediately unsettling atmosphere. Yeah, maybe that was just the wind there, Scotty. Scotty slowly opens the door to find a not at all creepy deerhead and a shit ton of cigarette smoke, and then continues to investigate the cabin. This is where we meet another one of our lead characters. Yes, the clock. Get used to seeing that guy. Sam Raimi uses the clock as sort of a morbid aesthetic piece. We always see it from a strange perspective, kind of a dooming feeling, constantly reminding us that our time is running out. As you can see in the next scene where Cheryl's drawing the clock, which is actually one of my favorite scenes in the movie because it's a prime example of very solid filmmaking. You can really feel the tension in the air, and the scene always left a creepy yet whimsical impression on me. Now all the characters are sitting together at the table, and you know what that means.
Party down! Yeah!
When suddenly, the cellar door swings wide open. Startled, they go to investigate.
It's probably just some animal.
An animal? An animal?
That is the stupidest thing I ever heard of.
What if I was to respond to everything that way? Hi. Cameraman. Missing person. That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard of. Bye. Investigation? That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard of. Pain in my ass. Yeah. Suspected murder. That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard of. Scotty and Ash descend into the dark cellar to discover a shotgun, a ceremonial dagger.
This kind of looks like your old girlfriend.
I do like the dead ones. And a very strange book full of some very awesome illustrations. They also find a cassette recorder, which they bring upstairs with them along with the rest of the artifacts. They'll never find me out here. Let's just get this camera adjusted, and let's get this dissection back on track.
Naturan de Manto, roughly translated, Book of the Dead. The book is bound in human flesh and inked in human blood.
You mean to tell me that they found a functional shotgun, a ceremonial dagger with a skull for a hilt, and a book of black magic that's bound in human flesh and inked in human blood? This is starting to sound like my kind of vacation.
Deals with demons, demon resurrection, and those forces which roam the forest and dark bowers of man's domain.
Hey, what'd you do that for? It was just getting good.
I just don't want to hear it anymore, that's all.
Hey, come on, I just want to hear the rest of it. No big deal.
I'm just gonna doom us all. No big deal.
Tatir mano mansizon hazan sobar.
Speak English, Doc. We ain't scientists.
Kanda.
Shut it off.
Kanda.
Shut it off.
Kanda.
While sitting in her room, Cheryl hears a voice from outside, calling out to her from the woods. And what does she do? She goes out into the woods to investigate. What's wrong with these people? Just don't go into the woods. I watch a lot of horror movies. Bad shit happens in the woods. Bad shit. A little privacy, please! Cheryl discovers that the woods are possessed in one of the worst ways imaginable. Keep your filthy limbs off of me. I know that it's just people off screen playing with sticks, but you gotta admit, what's truly horrifying about this scene is that it takes a pretty twisted mind to write something like this.
Maybe I should be wearing a funny little hat.
After Cheryl is fondled by the great Deku tree, I never did trust that guy. Something about the mustache. She runs back into the cabin where, according to horror movie protocol, nobody believes her.
There's nothing out there. Trees do not attack people.
Ashley!
But do you really blame them? I mean, what do you even say to somebody in that kind of a situation? Can you show me on the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man doll where the demon tree touched you? Yep, you're possessed. Cheryl still convinces our future guy with the gun to give her a ride back into town.
Sure, I'll take you into town, but just listen to what you're saying.
I don't care how it sounds.
But then they arrive to the bridge to discover that something is not going to let them leave this place. Back at the cabin, it seems like Ash is the only one who's not acting like Cheryl didn't get raped by a tree. Well, except for maybe Cheryl, that is. And the bridge wasn't mysteriously destroyed.
I don't know, but I think it's really some sort of extra sense or something, you know, like ESP.
ESP, you don't say. Well, it's too bad you couldn't see this shit coming. Cheryl goes demon shit.
One by one we will take you.
Attacking Linda and Ash and forcing Scotty to save the day. And by save the day, I mean he beats the shit out of her with an axe and locks her in a cellar. Go, Scotty!
Party down! Yeah.
But the peace doesn't last long, as the incantations come calling for Shelley next, leading to a domestic dispute that would put even the most violent episode of Jerry Springer to shame. After a long and brutal fight with Shelley, Scotty takes an axe to his better half. After burying the axe, magic haircut Scotty makes like a severed limb and splits.
Hell out of here, right now.
Ash then goes to check on Linda, who has become possessed as well. After Ash runs from his dearly demonic Linda, Scotty returns, obviously having been attacked in the forest. I will say this one more fucking time. Bad shit happens in the woods. Hi. You know you're in the woods, right? That means you have to die.
Oh, come on, man.
This is when Linda leads her lover through a tormenting series of mind games.
Ashley? Ash, help me.
I'm all right now, Ashley! Why are you torturing me like this? Why?
Why did you deliver that line so terribly? Why? Fed up with the fiasco, Ash drags her ass outside. That'll teach her. After Scotty finally takes a dirt nap, Linda proves to Ash that she will not be ignored. Yeah, so Linda, you said nothing about this on your POF dating profile. It's a big turnoff. Ash chains up Linda's unconscious body in the shed, where he finally decides to grow a pair and free Linda from this torment. He's gonna do it. He's finally gonna do it. Ash is finally going to chicken out again. Hey Ash, you ever think maybe being a coward is going to bite you in the ass someday? Unable to carry out the dirty deed of dismemberment, Ash decides to bury Linda instead. Yeah, I guess that'll work a lot fucking better. Then Linda proves that she will not be cast aside so easily. Ash does seem like the kind of guy a girl could really lose her head over. Ash returns to find an open cellar and a very pissed off Cheryl. Ash fights her off and then runs to the basement in search of more shells. This is when things get downright freaky, as the house itself seems to be possessed by the Kandarian demons. Just as things seem to be calming down, Cheryl comes through the wall like the fucking Kool-Aid guy.
Oh yeah, here comes Kool-Aid.
After Ash finally puts a bullet in Cheryl's face, Scotty wakes up, feeling better than ever. This leads to a climactic final battle, where Ash finally realizes that the only way to destroy the evil is to destroy the book itself. And I've got to admit, for the time, the claymation here really isn't that bad. One final moment of gory splatterhouse slapstick humor. I don't really know what to call that. Oh, I got it. Splatstick. And Ash is home free. At least that's what he thinks. Don't worry, the sequel will explain absolutely nothing. And that's The Evil Dead. So this is where I give the movie a score, and it's an undeniable 4 out of 5 stars. A highly enjoyable film, The Evil Dead has every bit of juicy goodness a horror movie can offer, paired with absolute top-notch cinematography, a very artistic look into the macabre, and a sick sense of humor that borders on the romantic. And I'm sure audiences in 1981 fuck off. Weren't used to seeing rapist trees. Really, what inspired Sam Raimi to write something so maniacal? I said fuck off! Was it the lack of funding that fueled the rage it took to create something as twisted as this? I, for one, see it as a metaphor for Mother Nature's revenge against... I said fuck off! We just wanted to give you a hug. I don't like hugs! There you are. Are you gonna possess me? Come on. I want you to possess me. Come on, motherfucker. Come on! So this is what possession feels like? It's not that bad.
Whoa! Yo, I got demons running all through me.
Just kidding. You can't make me evil. I'm already evil. I'm Serial Critic, and that concludes today's dissection.